The first thing you're going to need today is your idea book and an architecture sheet that we're going to be putting our ideas in. So the first thing you want to do is open your idea book to your next blank page. That would be this one. And on the back of your worksheet, you're going to draw an X with your glue stick. Not a square, not a rectangle, not a star. Just an X from corner to corner and put your glue stick away. I'm going to go ahead and glue this in here. And then I'm going to try to answer these two questions to the best of my ability. That means you're going to make your best guess. So, what is architecture? And what is an architect? They must have something to do with each other because the words sound the same. Architecture, architect. Go ahead and write your best guess on the line right now. So what is architecture? Share that with your teacher. That's right. Architecture, basically, it's buildings. Buildings, any kind of buildings, something that people build. So it could not just be buildings like schools and houses, but also bridges and other structures. So let's write the word structure here. Better put an S so we know there's more than one structure. So what is an architect? Well, who do you think designs all that fabulous architecture? You'd be right. It's an artist. Who designs buildings. Whoops. They don't always build the buildings, but they certainly do buildings or structures. Okay? In this box, let's make a list of all of the buildings and structures that we can think of. Pause the video while you do this. Now that we have a nice list of all the different types of structures and buildings that architects could be creating, we're going to create one of our own. Now, we've read The Magical Garden of Claude Monet, and we know that Claude Monet wanted a pink house with green shutters. He also wanted a symmetrical house. That means it's the same on both sides. So down here at the bottom, you're going to design your very own symmetrical, same on both sides building for Claude Monet. We're not too worried about color right now because we're doing it with pencil. But down here, we want to think of some architectural elements. So what are architectural elements? Elements are the parts of something. So in this picture of Notre Dame Cathedral, some of the elements would be doors, that's right, windows, roofs, there's columns. If this were a house, it might have like these little chimneys. These are called minarets. So let's make a little picture list of all the things that we could include. Let's see. Doors, windows. Oh, what about these? That's right, shutters. So there's 1, 2, 3. Well, let's see. Oh, columns, right? Or what if it was a column or the roof? We could call that a porch, right? So there's 4. Maybe, oh, I know. Chimney. The roof itself, what it's shaped like, would be 6. That's quite a few architectural elements. Any kind of details that you would see. This cathedral, because it is very fancy, has some carvings and even some fancy stained glass windows. It has some sculptural elements. But the house in Claude Monet's garden isn't going to be quite that fancy. So down here below, we're going to make a building that is symmetrical, the same on both sides. So I'm going to start with a rectangle. Okay, it has to include at least 3 architectural elements. So here's my house shape. I'm going to go ahead and put a roof. I think I'm going to put a flat roof on it that just has a little slope like this. Oh, that means I have to do the same on both sides. How about a chimney? If I put a chimney over here, what do I have to do on this side? That's right, has to be symmetrical, the same on both sides. So if I'm going to put a door here, maybe I'll make it a double door, doorknob on each side. I'm going to put a window here with some shutters. Ooh, if I put a window over here, I've got to put a window over here. And I'm going to keep going like that until my building is all finished. One over here and one over here. Symmetrical, the same on both sides. You try it. So today we're going to use some painted papers and we're going to actually create our design that we made for Claude Monet's house inside his garden. So I'm going to set this here where I can see it. That way it'll be my blueprint since I'm going to be Claude Monet's architect today. And the first thing that I want to do is find some green. So I've got my background color. I'm going to have an afternoon sky or an early morning sky. So I chose this nice yellow. And this is going to be down here to create the horizon line. Now most ground isn't perfectly straight like this. So I'm going to use my scissors and along one edge of my long side of my paper, I'm just going to cut a bumpy line so that it looks a little bit more natural. There we go. Don't need the skinny one. I want the fat one. I'm going to turn it over on the plain side. And I'm going to put some baby dots of glue. I don't want to get my dots of glue too close to the edge. I'm going to keep them out here sort of in the middle. And now I have some land on which I can build my house design. Hold that down for a few seconds so that it stays flat. All right, now my client would like a symmetrical house that is pink with green shutters. So I've got this lovely pink paper. Now that is a huge piece of paper, probably a little bit too big. I could use it like this. I think I'm going to cut it in half, maybe not quite half. If you have a really, really big house, you might want to cut it in half. Oh, that's a much better sized house. I could also make it a very tall house like this if I like. But since my design is horizontal, I'm going to go ahead and make my house horizontal. So I'm going to go ahead and put some dots of glue, not lots of glue, dots, not lots, right here on the back of my paper. I want my house to overlap, that means cover up some of the green grass so that it looks like it's sitting on the ground. I don't want it up here floating around in the sky. That would be not a great idea. Now I'm not going to cut this up because somebody else might use this for their house. Now take a look at the glue. We want to make sure that the glue is twisted all the way up. It should be breathing, just like this. And that means it's ready to go. Okay? Now, I've got a roof, so let's see, I've got some brown paper here. That roof seems a bit too big. Let's try this one. Ooh, that's kind of a nice size roof. Yep, that's going to be just right. So I think I'm going to cut a slope on this side. I could even fold it in half, right, and cut it so that it's the same on both sides because it has to be, what? Symmetrical, symmetrical, the same on both sides. All right, I like that. Roof. Some baby dots, not lots. Now, these are tip-taps of glue, not big, giant, puddles. I don't want to glue bomb my paper. That would not be good. Right, I'm going to put it all the way up near the edge just so there's no yellow showing through. I'm going to hold that down for a few seconds. The next thing I'm going to add is my chimneys. Let's see, these might be big enough for some chimneys, though I don't know, they kind of look like ears. I might have to, I could trim them a little bit. That still looks like a small chimney. Let's get another piece. Oh, here we go. How about this brown piece? I'm going to go ahead and cut this. And then I think I'll cut it this way. Now I'm not going to throw away any of these rectangles. I want to hold on to those. So they're going to go in the scrap bowl so that if somebody else wants to use them, they can. Oh yeah, that's perfect. I could actually cut this in half because I had a lot tucked in there. So I'm going to cut this in half. And I'm going to put this one on this side. Here. Oh, see, that's just right. I'm going to put this one on this side. Same on both sides. Okay. Now, I could even use this as the doorway. Ooh, that's a very nice door. That's just the right size, too. So I'm going to go ahead and put that door on there. Whoops. Kind of wiggled on me. And then I'm going to grab some yellow painted paper to put the windows in. Let's see. Too tall. There's one. All right, let's see. I've got a couple of upper windows here. And I can always modify my design if I really wanted to have, let's say I wanted to have a curved window, like an arched window, like you'd see here in the cathedral. Let's see. Now, if I were to put that on the left side or the right side, I would have to do two, but since it's in the middle, half is on one side and half is on the other. So let's put some dots of glue on here. Dots, not lots. All right. Before you take it to the drying rack today, make sure you have at least 3 architectural elements.